over the weekend. It's a major event in a country that produces nearly a fifth of the food made in the European Union. Well, Germany's also trying to climb at the top of the food chain. Agricultural exports doubled over the past decade, reaching more than 65 billion euros in 2013. Jessica Zoltz tells us more about what boosted the industry in Germany, but also about the flip side of this agricultural success.
Reinhard Schlipper comes from a small farming family. After settling in East Germany after the fall of the wall, he found out about the larger farms that were a legacy of communism. Today he runs one of these cooperatives in the state of Brandenburg, and his tasks include the monitoring of the dairy production. Twice a day, 600 cows are milked in rotation in order to produce 17 tons of milk.
Before I moved to the area, I didn't think that something like that could work. But if it works in industry, why not in agriculture? We used to have blacksmiths in every village. Now we have steel mills. It's the same thing.
Agriculture cooperatives in the former GDR are plentiful. Here, animals and cereal production is distributed over several sites. We meet Matthias Busser a few kilometers away. He is in charge of the farming land. At the end of winter, they begin to prepare 2,200 hectares for land for seed, corn and cereals. It is a huge task that requires a big investment.
The huge technical cost is what forces us to expand. There has to be a certain amount of hectares. For example, we need to buy another one of these wheel loaders soon. They cost 120,000 euros each.
In Germany, subsidies depend mainly on the size of the farms. This benefits the heirs of the communist kolkhozes. But farmers also learn to diversify their activities to take advantage of investment incentives and the development of renewable energies. The price of the electricity generated by this solar panel is guaranteed for 20 years and allows for all-important fixed incomes. This stall houses the Charolais. It's the pride of Matthias Busser and Reinhard Schlipper, but only generates a small part of their income. The pressure of mass distribution today forces them to produce in high quantities.
Of course, the Germans like to eat and drink as much as anyone else, but they are often not prepared to pay much for it. That's affected production and also trade a bit. The abattoirs and dairies have to produce very cheaply.
As a result, Germany's exports doubled in 10 years to 65 billion euros in 2013. But this strategy has its drawbacks. The concentration of large agricultural farms in the east of the country and in Lower Saxony has led to numerous abuses. The intensive rearing of pigs and low wages in slaughterhouses regularly hits the headlines. And the industrialization of the sector has had adverse effects on the environment.
Many areas needed for agriculture have become unusable, which means we have less space for biodiversity. And at the same time, for example in the hills, we have a disastrous situation where businesses cannot survive.
Germany currently has 300,000 farms. According to the German Federation of Farmers, half of them will be gone in the next 10 years. Facing the steamroller of industrial agriculture, only the large ones have a chance to survive.
And it's time for sports now. Let's take a look at all the latest in football's Euro 2016 qualifiers.
We may still be 4 months away from the World Cup, but European teams now also have the qualifiers for the 2016 Euros in France to consider. The draw took place in Nice on Sunday, with most countries keen to avoid the reigning European and world champions Spain. Vicente Del Bosque's side were drawn in Group C alongside Luxembourg, Macedonia, Belarus, Slovakia and Ukraine. I hope that it's a qualification period that will allow us to get through to the final draw here in France. We want to try to retain our title, and it's a balanced draw with difficult teams to play. And the best that we can do is to prepare ourselves to face a tough fight. England also ought to have a comfortable ride as they face San Marino, Lithuania, Estonia, Slovenia and Switzerland. It's also a decent schedule for the fans.
Yeah, it's a good group in the sense that we have a lot of fans travelling, and on this occasion they don't have to travel too far, and they're going to be travelling to very nice places where the transport hubs are well established. So it was a good group in that respect, but of course, like all groups, it's not easy because the teams will be looking to beat us.
Russia are another team that will fancy their chances of a French summer. Fabio Capello's side should have few problems against Liechtenstein, Moldova and even Austria, but they're also up against the Sweden of Zlatan Ibrahimovic and an awkward opponent in Montenegro.
This is always the same. I know really well this team. It's a good team. It's tough to beat when they play home. Also, the quality of this player is high. The reason will be a difficult group, but not only for us, for everyone.
Joachim Löw's Germany are already one of the early favourites to win the 2016 title. They're in Group D alongside the newest UEFA member Gibraltar, which suggests that the other teams in the group, Georgia, Scotland, Poland and the Republic of Ireland, will find themselves between a rock and a hard place. 2004 hosts and runners-up Portugal were first into Group I. They're joined by Denmark, Serbia, Armenia and Albania. Group I also hosts France, who will compete as preparation for the tournament without their points being counted. Paris Saint-Germain remained 5 points clear at the top of Ligue 1 after beating Toulouse on Sunday. Lille were held to a goalless draw by visiting Lyon. Elsewhere, Rennes swept past rivals Nantes in the Brittany derby, that one finishing 3-0. A late strike from Levin Kazawa saw Monaco edge Reims on Friday, while Saint-Etienne beat Bastia 2-0 on Saturday. Bayern Munich continued their relentless march towards the Bundesliga title after cruising past Hanover on Sunday. Thomas Müller gave Bayern the lead after 25 minutes. Just 9 minutes later, Bayern doubled their advantage. Bastian Schweinsteiger with a neat chip in for Thiago Alcantara, who controlled brilliantly before firing in. On the hour mark, Müller grabbed his second and Bayern's third thanks to a cheeky back heel from Mario Mandzukic, who later rounded out the goal fest. 4-0 it finished. In England, Liverpool maintained their bid for a top-4 finish with a nail-biting 4-3 win against Swansea. 2 goals each for Daniel Sturridge and Jordan Henderson. Liverpool are fourth, just 4 points behind leaders Chelsea, and 6 clear of fifth-placed Tottenham, who lost 1-0 at struggling Norwich. Loic Remy struck late for Newcastle as they beat Aston Villa. To the Netherlands, where Ajax bounced back from their Europa League home thrashing